Yo, what's going on? And welcome back to another Duel Links video. Now, 3 days ago I showed you guys how to get those high scores. We did 1.5 million damage in a single duel in the Aporia Raid Duel event. And then I got to thinking, we can do better than that, right? So you can see up here, I actually did 24 million damage in a single duel. Um, and so I kind of changed up my strategy to go to the logical extreme of what we can actually do here to deal damage. Obviously, this probably isn't going to be the maximum amount of damage because I believe there are probably infinite loop combos that'll probably get you higher. But this was just like a real quick thing that I thought of. I was like, what's a deck that can do a stupid damage number just for fun and be really consistent? So I thought of this one, which I will show you. I built it on Luna. No skills required. It's just on Luna because I had a free deck slot there. It is Mayakashi's because if you know anything about Mayakashi's, they like to what's it called? Ladder, synchro ladder, something like that. I forget what it's called. But anyways, you essentially go up the ladder, right? You go from 3 to 5 to 7 to 9, and each one of those synchro summons gives you speed spells. So what we're looking at here for the deck is we have one Shiranui Solitaire, just kind of adds some consistency because Solitaire can instantly summon Daki, which is going to be the tuner that you need to use. And then the other important thing here is Yuki, because Yuki can special summon from your hand or special summon from the graveyard if you have a Daki on the field. And then the little tech that I put in to make this even more ridiculous was I added Yasha in, because technically the combo ends a little bit earlier than this if you don't have Yasha, and I managed to get like a perfect play with Yasha, because you need to tribute off one of your monsters with him to keep the play going. So this is how I figured out how to do it. We got some MSTs in Galaxy Cyclone just because he starts to have that one spell card that whenever you destroy one of his monsters, he destroys one of your spell cards, and you really don't want that because you need your equip cards to get as much attack as possible. So, namely, we're using United We Stand and Power of the Guardians here. And then the other spell cards are Ghost meets Girl, so we can summon Solitaire really easily. We can drop a Yuki from our hand because Yuki does the same thing whether it's in our hand or in the graveyard, so we don't care. We can instantly summon Solitaire with that, so we don't have to use our normal summon. And then we have Mayakashi Return, so we can search for any of the Mayakashi cards that we don't have part of the combo yet. If we need Daki, we can search Daki. Although Daki, since it can be summoned with Solitaire, you're probably not going to be searching Daki. You're probably either going to search Yuki or Yasha if you're trying to do this tech here. And then since you can only have 7 extra deck slots, I went with because we're using Yasha, you need 2 of the 7 and 2 of the 9. You don't really need 2 of the 5, although I had it, and you don't need 2 of the 3 because you're only going to be summoning him once. Now, the strategy here, because we now have access to, in the previous one, we didn't have access to this, but with the Raid Duel being level over 2000 now, Yusei actually gives you Stardust Dragon and Formula Synchron turn 1, so you don't need as many spell or speed spells. So I'll show you that in the replay. We will get to that in just a second. All right, we are back with the replay, fighting against, I think it was a level 2100 Aporia. So again, it doesn't really matter what level he is as long as he's above level 2000, because you want Yusei's help here. He's going to give you Stardust Dragon and Formula Synchron turn 1, which means you immediately Synchro Summon it, right, into Shooting Star Dragon. Now, the Shooting Star Dragon, once again, is our focus. We want to buff it as much as possible, and luckily we have a Power of the Guardians here. And we already have 2 pieces of our combo, right? We got Daki and we got Yuki. So here I just search Yasha to thin out my deck a little bit and make sure we can get the cards that we need. Preferably a Power, or no, a United We Stand. And you can also use Mayakashi Return to send the Mayakashi card to the graveyard, which is what I did there. Here I actually activate Ghost Meets Girl just to summon the Solitaire, because you do need to make sure that you have a Daki on the field before the final turn if you want to do this full combo, because you need your normal summon available. So we got one more turn left. I just start popping his cards just to get rid of them. He doesn't have the one card that he could use to pop my spell cards, so we're good here. We get a little bit of chip damage in, but again, we haven't done very much damage to him. All the damage is coming right here. So what we're going to do, it's really important that you do it in the correct order here. I activate Yuki first. I think I activated the one in my hand. And no, I activated the one in the graveyard because I discarded the one from my hand earlier. So yeah, I activate the one in the graveyard to summon Yuki onto the field. You want to do this first because we have 12 speed spells. And this means that United We Stand gets more of a buff. It gets 800 for each face-up monster we control. So we want to make sure we're controlling 3 monsters first. That is going to give the maximum amount of attack to Shooting Star Dragon before we start multiplying, before we do the first multiply here. So now we go ahead and multiply it by 5. And then we start synchro laddering or climbing the ladder with the synchro monsters. We go through all the Mayakashis, and as we go, every time we hit 8 speed spells, we immediately use the multiply by 5. Luckily, since Daki always summons onto the field, you always have 3 monsters on the field. I don't know if it matters anymore with United We Stand once you've multiplied by 5 once. I'm not sure if it continues to take that into account or if it just forgets about all that math. But anyways, we go for the ladder climb here, and we got everything set up perfectly right. He doesn't have a monster, but it also doesn't matter, because we could just destroy the monster with one of the other few monsters we'll have on the field here at the end. So we get all the way to Yoko, and then Daki comes back out. And now what we do is we tribute off the Yoko to summon Yasha. And that means that we can start from 5 again, right? Because otherwise we have no way to get rid of the Yoko. And Daki's already on the field because Daki automatically summons when Yoko is summoned. And then we can get exactly back to 8 here because we'll summon the 7 and we'll summon Yoko again, the 9, which will get us back to 8. Which will let us do one more multiply for a ridiculous amount here. And then we'll also be multiplying the Yoko, and we'll also have a Daki on the field, so we can do a little bit of extra chip damage here. Alright, so Daki, this time I put the Daki into attack mode. I do equip the Power of the Guardians onto the Daki. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, I don't even know if Power of the Guardians does anything by being attached to the Shooting Star Dragon here for its attack. I just equip it to the Daki because I don't know what this face down card is, and I don't know what he has in his hand. I don't really know how his cards work. So I was like, I'll attack with the Daki first and bait out any like weird effects he might have. Then I can destroy it with Yoko. Then I have a free attack with Shooting Star Dragon. In this case, he doesn't do anything, so it doesn't matter. And we get all those attacks in. Here comes Yoko, 43,000. And then Shooting Star Dragon does 24 million damage in a single attack. Absolutely crazy. Now, again, I don't think this is the maximum you can do. I'm pretty sure you could get an infinite loop that does 99999, like 999 million or whatever. But this is what I thought of really quick. I know we talked about in the last one just how you could make sure you're making it onto the leaderboard for that free pack. This is the logical extreme of that, doing something like this to just get a really, really, really big number that is 20 times as much as what I showed you in the first one. I just thought it'd be funny because I thought of this deck and then it actually worked perfectly. And it's really consistent. Like, this deck is really consistent as long as you're doing the level 2000 plus where you can instantly synchro summon into Shooting Star. If you have it lower than 2000, then the what's his face, Aporia can kind of kill your Shooting Star Dragon pretty easily before you actually change it into a Shooting Star Dragon. Or he can kill your Stardust easily before you turn it into a Shooting Star Dragon, which is not good. But anyways, that is going to do it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. This was just kind of like a joke one off of the first one. because I thought it was funny that I did 24 million damage in a single attack. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.